Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Edgier Than Thou. Today we're going to be responding to a lame video for losers by Who's a What's It from the Honestly Who Even Cares at This Point channel. Today I'm responding to Geeks and Gamers video. At this point, this is their most recent video, and it was especially bad, although I'll be honest with you, I haven't looked through any of the other ones, so who really knows if this is even remotely different from the rest of their content at the moment. But I found this one to be interesting, so we're going to take a look at it together.
Today we're going to talk about Star Wars for the first time in a long time because it's time to laugh at Lucasfilm and their pandering and their propaganda.
So I would 100% agree that this is pandering. There's absolutely no question there. But I honestly have to ask you, what about this is propaganda? For those of you who aren't aware, recently, I almost said Lego, oh my gosh. That's what I've got on the brain. Lucasfilm put out a tweet, basically, it was a poster of a bunch of women from Star Wars, and it purported to be celebrating LGBT History Month. So far as I can tell, the artist was gay, and that was like where this whole thing came from, which is a pretty weak connection, if you ask me, particularly because all of these characters on here are cis and straight, so far as I'm aware. So it was kind of lame to see them making such a disingenuous attempt to earn some social justice points. But alas, they did it, and in no way was it propaganda. It was literally just, hey look, we support LGBTQ plus people, which is about as lame as it can get for propaganda. If you're not, inciting us to defend the motherland or to, stand up and fight against some perceived degeneracy, honestly, what are you doing,
Star Wars is no longer about George Lucas's creation. It's why I am completely detached from everything Lucasfilm and Disney are doing with this universe. I will not stand with them. I stand with Gina Carano.
Okay, for a video where he purports to be attacking the virtue signaling of the leftist corporation Lucasfilm or whatever, it's really, really funny that he continues to insist that he stands with Gina Carano, who, if you're, again, not aware, was an actress who was fired because she was constantly generating bad press for Lucasfilm, and finally they were just tired of it. You can disagree with her firing, agree with it, I don't really care. I personally found it to be a little bit of a dumb reason, like it seemed like something that could have been worked out internally, but I don't really care. She's an adult, she's a rich adult, she can probably handle herself, and she's now making movies for Ben Shapiro, so I think she got off okay. But in any event, these people like to pretend like they're standing for something or standing with someone when this is the exact type of crap that they like to make fun of everyone else for. I stand with X, and then of course he makes a video about it, laughing at them, ridiculing them. It's just really, really funny to see him just transparently doing exactly the thing that he's about to start ragging on.
You're celebrating LGBTQ month, but you don't have any LGBTQ characters in your celebration. Do you know why? Because you're not allowed to, because your overlords in China would not allow it.
Okay, the point he's trying to make here is relatively accurate. You're right that Disney is pretty dishonest with their marketing surrounding particularly LGBTQ plus characters, and also characters who are not white or Asian, because they're trying to protect their market in China. That's fair. That's true. That has no bearing on the current situation. If anything, this is worth a passing mention, or if you're going to genuinely attempt to argue that they should be more honest and transparent with their marketing, then you could engage in a more interesting discussion about why market influences cause them to be disingenuous with their activism, and that might be interesting. But since it's obvious he doesn't actually care about LGBT History Month, that's not why he's arguing this here, it seems kind of pointless to point out this hypocrisy that means literally nothing to him, because he'd be doing the exact same thing they do in China, except everywhere.
The comment section, this is what Star Wars is now, ladies and gentlemen. It's not about a galaxy far, far away. It's about arguing over identity politics and sexual orientation.
Wow, that is a brilliant observation. You're right. In a post that is about identity and sexual orientation, it makes sense that people in the comments might be talking about identity and sexual orientation. That's an observation that you've made. Now, tell me why it's a bad thing?
That's what Star Wars is under Disney. It's why the sequel trilogy failed. It's why Solo lost money.
I'm pretty sure that the sequel trilogy failed, and obviously didn't fail in terms of the box office because they made ridiculous amounts of money, but I'm pretty sure that the reason why they failed at those was because the two directors had completely different visions of the story and they made no effort to plan them out, not because of gay Twitter posts. I could be wrong on that, and if anyone can show me where I'm wrong and where gay Twitter posts did influence the performance of the sequel trilogy, I'd be happy to rescind that, but as far as I can tell, that's the reason why. And as for Solo, I mean, you're right that their disingenuous attempts to appeal to social justice in that film were a little bit lame. I'm pretty sure it underperformed because they marketed it horribly, the writing was mediocre at best, and no one really had any need for a Solo movie because we all had a pretty good idea of how his life had transpired so far.
But here you have just people in the comments. Remember when Star Wars was just fun, action-packed entertainment and not a platform of SJW virtue signaling? Those were the days. I mean, it's just, this is good, but having more LGBT characters in the universe would be better.
What does a picture of a bunch of straight cis women have to do with celebrating LGBTQ+?
The article explains that the
Artist is gay and has always identified with the women of Star Wars.
I have to say, honestly, I love the fact that when he's scrolling through and reading through the comments on this, he has to make sure to read all of the SJW voices in his like little high pitch. There need to be more LGBT characters in Star Wars, but then any other comment, he just reads in a normal voice. Reading something in a funny voice isn't an argument. You have to do more than that. But I feel like he just gets by with just the voice and then no points made. Because honestly, if you were to read the script for this video, you could pretty easily, with a couple of minor tweaks, get it to swing the other way and be criticizing Disney for not being LGBT inclusive enough, which tells us that he's not really making very many actual arguments. He's not actually defending a point. He's just vaguely implying stuff, or sometimes outright implying it with only the tone of his voice and nothing else of substance. Honestly, when I first saw the thumbnail for this video, I was really, really hoping that we were gonna get to see JXC's response to this, because I don't know, like her response was kind of a mild banger, if you will, but it looks like this is recorded beforehand, although I would be very interested to see how Geeks and Gamers tried to respond to her, but I feel like it'd be really funny for him to do the SJW voice for a very well-known film and media YouTuber.
Let me see, since when are straight women part of LGBT? Exactly! Since woke cancel culture said so. That's all this comment section is! Okay,
Since when are straight women part of LGBT? Exactly. Since woke cancel culture says so. That's all this comment section is.
Yes, that is all this comment section is, because that's what the post is about. I would like to introduce you to the concept of making posts and then people responding to that post and not responding with completely irrelevant information, because that would be dumb. It'd be really weird if the comment section was about anything else. Literally anything else.
I don't believe in Disney and Lucasfilm to do anything other than ruin Star Wars even further. If you like it, that's your business.
Okay, not only have they recently put out some of the most popular Star Wars content in recent years with, I mean, The Mandalorian, The Bad Batch, Clone Wars Season 7, I think people liked Visions, I still haven't seen it. So I'm not totally sure about that. It's unclear to me exactly what they've done to ruin Star Wars other than Rise of Skywalker, and I guess, I mean, obviously if you hated Last Jedi, like, sure, that too, fine. Other than that, I feel like they're not ruining it, unless simply tweeting about a person who's gay is ruining a piece of media that has nothing to do with the tweet.
I just don't have a level of interest right now that I can care, because I stand with Gina Carano.
Again, Jeremy doesn't give a shit about Gina Carano. She means literally nothing to him. She's just a pawn for his little social justice warrior crusade, and literally nothing else to him. But with that, this is a shorter one. I hope that you enjoyed this. You should do the liking thing and the subscribing thing in this general vicinity here, and come back